If you are over the age of 60, there is a piece of advice you have likely heard 1,000 times from your doctor, your friends, and even the magazines you read, and that advice is simply to keep walking. We are told that as long as we take our daily stroll, we are doing everything necessary to age gracefully. But have you ever noticed that even faithful walkers sometimes complain about their legs feeling heavy, or that their balance doesn't feel quite as sharp as it used to be? It is a frustrating paradox that I hear about constantly. You are doing everything right, you are putting in the miles, yet you might find yourself gripping the handrail a little tighter when you go down the stairs, or perhaps you feel a subtle unsteadiness when you step off a curb. There is a reason for this, and it is not just because you are getting older. It is because walking, as wonderful as it is for your heart and your mood, has a blind spot. It does not fully engage the specific muscles that act as the structural pillars of your body. In fact, relying solely on walking can sometimes mask a silent decline in lower body strength until it is too late to easily fix. Today, I want to share something with you that goes beyond the standard advice. We are going to talk about a tiny, almost invisible movement that you can do while waiting for the kettle to boil or while brushing your teeth, yet it holds the power to completely change the trajectory of your physical independence. It is about waking up a specific set of muscles that are often called your second heart. By the time we are done here, you will understand why ignoring this muscle group is a mistake and how spending just a few minutes a day focusing on it can lead to better balance, sharper brain function, and a level of energy you may not have felt in years. I want to welcome you into this conversation, and I am so glad you are here. If you are watching this, I would love for you to take a moment and let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from and what year you were born, because we are building a community of people who are choosing to age with strength and intention. Let's get right to the heart of the matter. We need to talk about your calves. Now, I know that might sound like a strange place to start when we are talking about whole body health, but please stay with me because the science behind this is fascinating and incredibly empowering for anyone over 60. Most people view their calf muscles as just another part of the leg, perhaps something cosmetic, but physiologically, they are the engine room of your mobility. When you walk on flat ground, your calves are certainly working, but they are not being challenged enough to maintain their fast, twitch muscle fibers, which are the fibers responsible for catching you when you stumble. This is why you can be a dedicated walker and still suffer from a fall. The distinct movement we are discussing today is the calf raise. It sounds simple, almost too simple to be effective, but let me explain why this is the missing link in your healthcare routine. When you perform a deliberate calf raise, you are doing 6 distinct things for your body that walking simply cannot achieve on its own. Let's look at the first major benefit, which is functional everyday strength. I want you to think about your typical day. Think about reaching for a high shelf in the kitchen, or that moment of effort when you stand up from a deep sofa, or the push you need to get up a steep flight of stairs. All of these movements require a burst of power from the lower leg. As we age, if we don't specifically train for that power, we lose it. It is estimated that after age 50, we lose a small percentage of muscle mass every single year, and the lower body is usually the first to go. You might not notice it month by month, but eventually, it shows up as fatigue. You go to the grocery store, and by the time you are walking back to the car, your legs feel like lead. That is not inevitable aging, that is deconditioning. By integrating calf raises, you are rebuilding that launch pad. You are telling your body that you still need that power. Patients who add this into their routine often tell me that within a few weeks, tasks that used to feel exhausting suddenly feel lighter. It's as if they have taken a heavy backpack off their shoulders. This leads us directly into the second benefit, which is the flexibility and health of your ankle joints. This is something we rarely think about until it becomes a problem. Your ankle is the foundation of your movement, but as the years go by, the tissues around the joint can become stiff and dehydrated like an old rubber band. When your ankles are stiff, you lose your ability to navigate uneven ground. If you step on a crack in the sidewalk or a rug that is bunched up, a stiff ankle forces your knee and hip to take the impact, which often leads to pain in those upper joints. When you do a slow, controlled calf raise, moving all the way up onto your toes, and then slowly lowering your heels back down, You are essentially oiling that rusty hinge. You are safely moving the joint through a full range of motion, which stimulates the production of synovial fluid. This fluid is the natural lubricant that keeps your joints moving smoothly. Imagine being able to turn quickly in the kitchen without a twinge of pain, or walking down a garden path without constantly looking at your feet. That is the freedom that comes from mobile ankles. Now, I want to touch on a third benefit that surprises almost everyone, and that is blood sugar control. We often think of blood sugar management as something that only concerns diabetics or that is only influenced by diet. However, your muscles are actually the largest consumer of glucose in your body. They are like sponges that soak up sugar from your bloodstream to use for energy. The calf muscles are particularly dense and metabolically active. There is compelling research suggesting that activating these muscles, especially shortly after a meal, can significantly blunt the spike in blood sugar that occurs after eating. You don't need to go to the gym or run a marathon to get this benefit. Simply standing up after lunch and performing 3 minutes of calf raises can help your body process your meal more efficiently. It is a natural way to support your metabolism, and for anyone watching their glucose levels, it is a tool that is completely free and available to you at any time. The fourth benefit is perhaps the most critical for your long-term safety, and that is balance protection. We need to have an honest conversation about falls. We know that falls are the leading cause of injury for seniors, but we often misunderstand why they happen. It is rarely because someone is clumsy. It is usually because the automatic reflex that corrects your balance has become too slow. When you are about to fall, your brain sends a lightning, fast signal to your calves to contract and pull you back to center. If those muscles are weak, or if the connection is fuzzy, that signal doesn't result in a save, it results in a fall. By practicing calf raises, you are not just building muscle, you are sharpening that neurological connection. You are keeping the wiring intact. Think of it as updating the software in your computer. You are ensuring that when you need that reaction time, it is there for you. It turns a potential emergency into a minor stumble that you recover from and forget about 5 minutes later. This brings us to the fifth reason to start this habit today, which is fighting back against sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the medical term for age-related muscle loss. It sounds scary, but it is really just a biological process that we can slow down and even reverse. Many people believe that once muscle is gone, it is gone forever. That is simply not true. Muscle tissue is incredibly resilient and responsive, regardless of your age. Whether you are 60, 70, or 90, if you provide the right stimulus, your muscles will adapt. Doing calf raises is a vote for your own independence. It is a signal to your body that you are not done yet. When you preserve the muscle in your legs, you are preserving your ability to live alone, to travel, to play with your grandchildren, and to navigate the world on your own terms. It is the ultimate form of self-care. Finally, we arrive at the sixth benefit, and this is the one that I believe is the most profound. We call the calf muscles the second heart. For a reason, you see, your main heart in your chest is fantastic at pumping blood out to your body through your arteries. Gravity helps that process along. However, getting that blood back up from your feet to your heart is a much harder task because it has to work against gravity. Your body relies on a system of valves and muscle pumps in your legs to push that blood back up. If you are sedentary, or if those muscles are weak, the blood tends to pool in the lower legs. This is why so many seniors experience swollen ankles, cold feet, and even those dark, visible veins. But it goes deeper than that. When blood pools in the legs, it means there is less oxygenated blood returning to the heart to be pumped to the brain. This can contribute to feelings of brain fog, lethargy, and just feeling generally washed out. Every time you perform a calf raise, you are manually squeezing those deep veins and shooting that blood back up to your central circulation. You are assisting your heart. Many people report that after a few weeks of consistent calf raises, their ankles are less puffy, their feet feel warmer, and they have a clearer head. It is a circulation booster that rivals many medical interventions, and it is completely natural. So, how do we do this correctly? I want you to forget about the rapid, bouncing movements you might see athletes do. We are going solely for control and safety. I want you to find a sturdy counter, perhaps in your kitchen, or the back of a solid sofa. Stand tall, imagining a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Place your hands lightly on the support surface for balance. Position your feet about hip width apart. Now, slowly, and I mean slowly, lift your heels off the ground, rising onto the balls of your feet. Go as high as you comfortably can without pain. When you reach the top, hold it there. Count to 2. This pause is where the magic happens. It eliminates momentum and forces the muscle to do the work. Then, lower yourself back down, taking 3 full seconds to reach the floor. Do not crash down, control the descent. That is 1 repetition. Aim for 10 to 15 of these in a row. If you can do that twice a day, you are doing wonders for your body. If you have been doing this for a while and you want to advance, you can simply hold the position at the top for longer, perhaps 5 or 6 seconds. You will feel a gentle burn, and that is a sign that the muscles are waking up. However, please always listen to your body. If you have any history of foot surgery, severe balance issues, or medical conditions that affect your circulation, have a quick chat with your healthcare provider before starting. We want to build you up, not cause injury. Pain is not the goal, progress is the goal. It is easy to dismiss something so small. We are conditioned to think that health improvements require grand gestures, expensive memberships, or drastic lifestyle changes. But the truth is, health is built in the small, consistent moments. It is built in the 2 minutes while you brush your teeth. It is built in the commercial break of your favorite evening show. By adding this simple movement to your day, you are taking a proactive stance against the decline that society tells us is inevitable. You are choosing to keep your second heart strong. You are choosing to keep your balance sharp. You are choosing to keep walking, not just shuffling, but striding with confidence. I want you to try this today. Next time you are standing at the sink, do 5 slow calf raises. Feel the connection to the floor. Feel the blood moving. It is a small investment with a massive return. And as we wrap up, I want to remind you that it is never too late to start. Your body is ready to get stronger if you are ready to ask it to. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate your attention and your commitment to your own health. If you found this explanation helpful, please consider sharing it with a friend or a family member who might need a little encouragement. Let's help each other stay steady, strong, and vibrant. I look forward to reading your comments and seeing you in the next discussion. Stay moving, stay curious, and take care of that second heart.